If I did not say this before, which I swear I have, but I didn't, I'm saying it now. When you killed off or whatever you did with John Wick and John Wick 4, yes, I know, John Wick 5, I'll get to that later, just bear with me. But when you did that, you killed the franchise. I swear I said this before. If I didn't, I'm saying it now. You killed the franchise. Because I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I could have told you this. I could have warned you this to the studios, to the people out there. I could have told you this, but I'm a little guy in the itty bitty corner of YouTube. People don't, I mean, the people who are in the higher ups of entertainment, they don't even know someone like me exists. I'm just a little itty bitty nothing in the corner of YouTube, sitting in there twiddling my dick in my hands and a finger of my prostate gland. But I still could have yelled in the back, it's gonna flop. Way in the back of the class, back of the room, back of the stratosphere, it's gonna flop. The bridge is out. Rosebud. Darth Vader is the father. It's gonna flop. The Continental TV show that no one even remembers flopped. Even, Chad Stahelski said it sucked. This film flopped. It says a lot that this film, total, in the US, has made less than what John Wick 4 did in its opening fucking weekend. Opening weekend was what, 70-some million? And this film has made only 55 million in the US. It's made like 105 million worldwide. So probably if you take in worldwide, John Wick 4, maybe even John Wick 3, but John Wick 4 made more in its opening weekend than this film did in its entire run. When they do that Donnie Yen movie, it's going to flop. Because people did not want a cinematic universe for John Wick. They liked seeing Keanu Reeves have a bit of a comeback because he was a bit of a slump. It's like, hey, I haven't seen you in a while, dude. I'm glad you're here. He had been around, but to have like this lightning strike hit with John Wick, which is over 10 years ago now, because that was 2014, and they see this progression of action, and this felt like the new fresh wave of action, but then everyone started copying it, and then it became kind of, we've seen this before, and we've seen that in other movies. We've seen that in Nobody. We've seen that in Extraction. We've seen that in a multitude of other films now. Because now almost everybody wants to be what Keanu Reeves did with John Wick. It's like when Taken came out and Liam Neeson. Then you saw all these older actors, they want to be Liam Neeson. So Pierce Brosnan does this, and then this guy does this. Sean Penn tried to do with The Gunman, which was also directed by the guy who did Taken. He's like, I need to do my Liam Neeson, where the old guy's the action star. But not all of them are going to be hits. Not all of them are going to hit that lightning, that love button. People like seeing Keanu Reeves as John Wick kicking people's ass and killing fools for 100 minutes or so. As simple as that. As simple as apple pie. As simple as that. People did not want this fucking cinematic universe and you gotta do this and this and this. No one cares about that. So that what brought people to the dance. So you get to this film here, and I watched this film. Is this one of the worst films of the year? I will say no. Number one, because it's been a really crappy year. And number two, I mean, compared to Snow White, I gotta review some Popeye horror films. I guarantee you those are way worse than this. Some of the other films I've seen, Thunderbolts, where we end our superhero film with a group therapy hug. Dr. Phil style. Because it knows as much about mental psychosis therapy as I do about Japanese fucking geography and mathematics. About as much as I know about Chinese algebra. In other words, jack shit. So you did Len Wiseman, a guy whose last film that he did, he worked in TV in the past few years, but last film he directed was the Total Recall remake, as I call it, Total Lens Flare of the movie. Because every 5 minutes, there's damn lens flares. Go watch that film. Just watch the scene where Colin Farrell is talking to the guy who he thought was his friend, but is not his friend. And there's lens flares so much you see more lens flares than people on the screen. And hey, Len Wiseman, I like to Live Free or Die Hard. But he hasn't made that many great movies. Underworld is there. Like stale underwear. It's just there. It's like, oh, well, it's there, until the laundry gets fixed. The washing machine gets fixed. I guess I could wear this for a day more, maybe. But then you get Ana de Armas, which, yeah, I didn't mind her as Joy, the hologram, however you want to call her, in Blade Runner 2049. That does not mean I looked at her and go, that's the new action star. She was in Knock Knock, one of the worst Keanu Reeves films I've ever seen. In fact, I still may say that is the worst Keanu Reeves film I've seen. It's Knock Knock. And I don't buy her as an action star. Her acting in this I thought was a bit flat. Her character was very uninteresting. Has the most basic story, but you can make basic stories work. I just reviewed a film called Soldier with Kurt Russell. Great movie. Which is funny, on a side note, there's some guy going about how I didn't like the film. I'm like, did you watch the film review, dude? They were talking about how much I liked the film, but apparently some people can't have this thing called hearing. Maybe some hearing aids. I'm sorry, but they ain't my fault you don't have hearing aids. I don't know what to tell you. Buy some. With a 2-piece and a biscuit. I don't know. But that is a very basic plot. But Kurt Russell did a great job. Showed what he could do with little words, but his mannerisms and his... That's because Kurt Russell to me is a real actor. Her, like a lot of people, male and female, in this world of today, I don't think a lot of them are real actors. A lot of them are posers, fantasy pretenders. And we don't have that kind of acting. Hell, we don't even have a Demi Moore, Gina Davis. We don't have that kind of stuff. And what's sad is, if you don't do this, why don't you just do it with Halle Berry and her character? That I would have been fascinated by. If this is Halle Berry and her character, and like you change it a bit, doesn't need to be about ballerina, just change it a bit, but she's going to tell revenge, and it's a basic plot, I would be more into it because I think Halle Berry's a good actress. Monsters Ball, Kidnap. I forget what was the other film. Damn it. She was good in John Wick 3. But no, can't have that. Which is funny because you establish it already, and I guarantee you she would have been down for it. The only reason she wasn't in part 4 is because they never asked her. Now, to be fair, I think the film would have still flopped, because again, I don't think this film or any of these spin-offs will do well, because again, it's like a Superman movie. I don't want to see a Lois Lane movie. I don't want to see a Jimmy Olsen movie. I don't want to see a Perry White movie where the guy's fucking black or white. I don't care. I don't want to see a Perry White movie. Okay? I don't think people knocking on the door going, hey, let's make our Perry White film about the intricate nature of the Daily Bugle, the Daily Planet, the Daily Jugular, the Daily World Wide Web weird of give a fuck. I don't forgot what the fuck the Daily Planet. I can't want to say Daily Bugle, but that's Spider-Man. But it's Daily Planet because you have the planet logo, and anyway. And Ana de Armas, I mean, she looks like she weighs 50 pounds, maybe 80 pounds. She got the arms of a chicken. I don't buy her doing all this stuff. I just don't buy it. And her acting, I thought, was mediocre at best. And I didn't give a shit about her character. Because I didn't give a crap about the acting, didn't give a crap about the actress, so I didn't care. This has a couple decent action sequences. I'll give you that. But it doesn't matter if the other stuff I don't give a shit about. Because action can take you so far. It's like gore in a horror movie. It can only take, at least me as an older guy, it can only take me so far until. Well, what about this action film you liked in the past? I don't know, bring the movie up and say, well, I like that actor, or I like that actress, or I think that guy or that person has charisma, or has got an it factor, or has that presence, or has something else, or I buy him as a badass, or some other things I could go into, since we want to judge these films individually. If that's the case. And, I mean, there's some good actors in this. Gabriel Byrne is your main villain. I like him. I liked him in End of Days. He's doing a lot of stuff. Anjelica Huston, who is Morticia in the Addams Family. She comes back to playing a role from John Wick 3. Yes, Keanu Reeves, which is not a surprise because he was in the trailer and he's on the poster. Which is funny about how desperate they were, because this is a spin-off, it will stand on its own 2 feet, but they fucking knew too! They knew what I knew, what maybe you people knew, that this film may not do well because people want to see John Wick. They don't. The world as John Wick is fine, but with John Wick starring in it. And they knew. That's why this film was done shooting in January of 2023. Think about that. January of 2023, it is 2025. That's over 2 years. Just January 2023, January 2024, January 2025, and add a couple months. 23 to 24, 24 to 25. What was it doing? Additional photography. What? To add more John Wick. You want to stay on your 2 feet, and you want to kill the fucking character off, but then you realize, oh, he's our bread and butter, so maybe we shouldn't have done that. So now there's all these talks of John Wick 5, even though they said, nope, nope, nope. Remember all these interviews? We're not going to do any more John Wick. No more John Wick. That's the end. No more. Keanu Reeves getting too old, blah, 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 blah. And then a month ago, well, you know what, and maybe we'll do this. And maybe, yeah, because Lionsgate is praying, because they have so many fucking flops. You would lose your mind how many flops they have, to the point I am surprised they are not bankrupt now, today. Unless they had some deal with Amazon or something. That's the only reason they're staying afloat. I can't remember. But how the hell they're still around, I don't know. Lionsgate, I really don't. Because they haven't had too many hits. Because this certainly wasn't one of them. So they don't put as much money, truckloads, in Keanu Reeves and Chad Stahelski, as much money as they can, so you can't say no. Please, can't say no. Because we were desperate. I know, 14 minutes in, I haven't talked about the movie. Before I lose more focus, get into the film at hand. I didn't even go into the thing. This is a paid request. For anyone that wants to request any type of videos, topics, reactions, reviews, re-reviews, PayPal's the best way to do it. Do have a Cash App as well. Links are down below in the info box. And I'll get to it as soon as I possibly can. Links are down below. And I'm laughing because usually I get that in like 2 minutes in, but I'm 14 minutes in. I just remembered, oh shit, let me do that. Masturbatory advertisement there. Sorry about that. But thank you for the paid request. I appreciate it. Thank you. So, yeah. My mind just wandered off the reservation and it came back into the corral now. So, back to our regularly scheduled program. So, I'm sure I'll reiterate that stuff I was saying later. But the focus on the plot There's a mom and dad. By the point the film starts, the mom is dead. Because the dad, they were part of two different factions. The mom was part of this group called the Cult, and the dad was part of the same of a different group. That's usually not what's supposed to happen. They had a kid. Something with the mess up of the factions led to the mom dying. Gabriel Byrne and his forces come in. They kill some of the people outside. One poor schmuck got like 18 arrows to the face. I mean, goddamn, what do you do? Sleep with your sister? And the dad fights back. He does a bit of his John Wick moves. Well, not his, but John Wick type of moves. That's the thing. We're getting now to the point in time where this John Wick style action is going to feel very stale. I'm sure there's people already who feel this is stale. For me, if it's the right actor and it's the right thing, I can still have a lot of fun with it. But man, it can feel samey. Do this, take down MMA a little bit, blah, blah, blah. And it can feel like you're watching reruns. That's why you don't need every character to fight like John Wick. Because if every character fights like John Wick, then John Wick isn't that special, is he? If everybody fights like John Wick. That's why you need different fighting styles. Different things. That goes for action films in general. Have some variety. Do a fighting style like Steven Seagal, or do a fighting style like John Van Damme. But you do it with, camera work, lighting, having in one shot without cutting all the time. You can still keep that stuff, but mix up a bit. Or again, people just feel like I've been there, done that. I know there are people there now. And there are times I would see these scenes, and because I don't like the lead, I'm like, okay, it seems I'm just watching fake John Wick shit. So it just feels kind of in one ear, out the other at times. So this dad is doing this, but then eventually he gets caught. Gabriel Byrne explains the situation about, your wife's dead, and where's your daughter, and then the dad tells about choices, and then Gabriel Byrne gives him a gun. Oh, by the way, spoilers throughout. Spoilers started now. If you got the choice, you kill yourself, you save your daughter. You try to shoot me, you both die. The daughter gets scared for her dad. The dad comes in, kicks people's asses, gets the girl out, but he dies of his wounds. But he got the girl out. The girl hightails it, gets to the Continental, and there's Ian McShane. He's in 3 or so scenes. I liked Ian McShane as an actor. He just does what he did in the other films, only much shorter appearance of screen time. The little girl just taken to Anjelica Huston. You're going to be one of the ballerinas, and eventually assassins. It cuts to a montage of her training. She's failing. One girl says you should fight like a girl. That makes her better. So she kicks people in the balls and other stuff. She's getting ready for her first assignment. At one point, John Wick is there because it's showing bits from John Wick 3 when he went to see Anjelica Huston. There's a bit where the girl meets John Wick, and John Wick says, there's always a choice. The door's open. You can always leave. And she goes, well, how come you didn't leave? And he goes, I'm working on it. I'm like, yeah, working to die like you did in John Wick 4. And that's the thing with this John Wick 5 stuff. Let me cut into that a bit before I get back to the plot. The thing with John Wick 5, again, I know people say it's coming because Keanu Reeves and Chad Stahelski talked about it, but then they're not sure. Number one, don't buy anything until you see a trailer. I remember, oh yeah, Michael Bay's going to do a Stibby-Dibby-Doo toilet movie. How many times have people said, yeah, we're going to do this movie, then nothing comes of it? Oh, Stallone and Jackie Chan are going to do a movie together. Well, Stallone had to do this, I think Creed 2 or something, other movie, and then John Cena put in. You never know. You never know what's going to happen. You never know when it's going to happen. Keanu Reeves is not getting younger. In fact, since John Wick 4, like, his acting has really declined because he seems more tired. He seems more of pausing his words. And I like Keanu Reeves, and he's not always been the best actor, but there's stuff he does. And I think the first 3 John Wick films, he does what he does perfectly fine. But John Wick 4 and this movie, he just seems tired. Not just physically, but just acting-wise, just... Sure. And I'm like, I know people want to say there's no difference, but no, I see a difference between how he acted in the first 3 films and how he acted in 4 in this one. I do, at least. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me. I'm seeing things, or I'm talking to the air, but that's how I view it. But, I mean, so let's say you do a John Wick 5. It's not going to be anytime soon, because Chad still wants to do the Highlander movie, and then I think there's like 1 or 2 other movies he wants to do, and Keanu Reeves, again, he's getting older, he can't do the action as much as he used to, he's going to be going slower, because he's 60, it catches up with everybody, and do you want to see an old man, you know, rickety split John Wick? Well, I mean, you saw 80-year-old Indiana Jones, so I guess, you know, no one wanted to see that either, and that film bombed for that reason. Among many, many, many other reasons why that bombed. But, and if what, you bring him back and he's alive, then you have to explain how is he alive, how did that happen, what was the point of John Wick 4, what was the point of a good chunk of that fucking movie, hell, what was even the plot of John Wick 4? I mean, it was 2.5, 3 hours long. What was the plot of John Wick 4? He did some shit, he fell down the stairs like Donkey Kong, and then he shot the fucking guy that's in everything, who's the shitty Crow film. And he's free, but okay, the high table's still around, even though I thought the whole point was he was going to kill them all, but I guess not. That's a whole other thing. You want to go outside the realm? Have him be in hell, shoot the shit of all the demons in hell, come back to life, gets out of the grave, puts on his suit, walks, his dog is there by his grave, he walks down the road with his fucking a dog, and there you go. And then you find out the whole franchise is a prequel to Constantine. He saw demons when he was a kid, and he tried to do something, so he said, fuck it. He tried to do it. It didn't work out. Then he decided to go in the world of assassins. Then he realized it. That didn't work out. Then he cut his fucking beard, cut his hair, changed his name to John Constantine, kept the John part, but changed the last name. His powers were gone, but his sight came back since he died. Then it goes back to Constantine. Or the events before Costa. There you go. There'll be the fucking twist. I'll see that movie then. But I could go on John Wick 5, but not to deviate too much to the topic at hand. What was the plot of John Wick 4? I don't even remember. As in, like, what his goal... And why did certain things happen to get from this to this to this? And why did he go to Scott Adkins? And what did that do for him at the end of the day? And anyway, Ana de Armas gets her first job, which is at a club. So we have an actress in the club, just like we had in multiple John Wick films before. So it just feels like the same old, only it's on the ice. What is this, Die Another Day? I don't buy this scrawny-ass lady doing all this stuff with chicken legs and chicken arms. Okay? I don't buy it. I don't need to buy it. Nobody else did. So I flopped. And then doing this stuff with John Wick too. It just feel like I've rinse and repeat. And it's like, hey, we need a female John Wick. What else do you got for the movie, though? It's a female John Wick. Yeah, but what else is there? It's a female John Wick. Yeah, I get that. You said that 3 times now. But what else is there to it? Oh, that's it? Then you're nothing special. You're nothing special. So why don't I just watch the actual John Wick movies? Also, we've gotten away from at least the first John Wick. What was also interesting about that film is how we kind of delved into this world of assassins, and we find all this cool stuff like the gold coins, and you could pay people to clean your stuff, clean your dead bodies, and the Continental, and the rules, and like the way with the suits. And now we're not introducing any interesting elements or angles. Now it's just repeat that shit that we did before. Was there anything in this that was brought into, well, wow, okay, that's in this world too? Interesting. That's a fascinating thing I didn't learn. Or I have learned in this movie that I didn't know about this world. Okay, that's a cool... No! Ain't a goddamn thing. So it cuts to some time, and I guess when it cuts to some time later, she's been an assassin for a bit. This is supposed to take place after John Wick 3, but before John Wick 4. Just keeping that in mind. Because at the end of John Wick 3, John Wick does all of this stuff, and the hotel, what happened with that. And then he gets shot. He falls down those stairs, which I thought looked stupid. That's one thing I don't like about John Wick 3, where his CGI body fell down. I thought that was steel steps. I thought that was on the outside of the building, whatever you call that, scaffold. It looked fucking stupid. So cartoony, so dumb. But then he's like completely busted up and hurt, and he's healing with Lawrence Fishburne. They heal up so he can get revenge, which he doesn't get revenge on a high table, which is what... Oh, yeah. So here, she's completed another job. Some assassin tries to kill her. He tries to attack. She kills him. Little hatchet axe to the head. And finds out that he's a cultist. Same people, factions that led to the death of her mom and her dad. Anjelica Huston says, leave it alone. We have a peace treaty with them. Don't mess with it. She says, yes, I won't. But of course, with the help of Eve McShane, she gets on the steps forward to unleash her revenge for the death of her parents. Eventually, it leads to her find out about this guy in this motel. And it's one of the other, not Continental, but one of those other assassin hotels. And Norman Reedus is there, who was in Blade 2. He's on The Walking Dead. And he's been in some stuff here and there. That, well, I forget what, Death Stranding. I think that's the video game. I never played it, though. When they were going to do that Silent Hill game, Silent Hills, he was going to star in that, but that didn't happen. That's why then went to Death Stranding, that game. Boondock Saints, yeah. Boondock Saints. Which I like the first one. The second one I don't remember much of. Norman Reedus is there, but it's a very thankless role, because he's not in it that much. He pretty much says, I was with the cult, but I want to leave. You're here because they want you to kill me, and if you don't, then other people will. Protect my daughter. He gets a shotgun. He shoots a couple people. They escape. Norman Reedus gets wounded, but he doesn't die. And then the next time you see him is at the hospital at the very end. That's what I mean. Anybody could play this role. Very brief, not much to it. The lead is knocked out, the girl is taken. You find out the girl's been taken by Gabriel Byrne. You find out it's because I think Norman Reedus was Gabriel Byrne's son, so that makes this girl his granddaughter. I think something like that. I know the girl is Gabriel Byrne's granddaughter. Our lead wants to go save her. So she goes to buy some guns, some merchandise, some bad guys come in. Now, there was some fun to be had here with the choreography, I will admit. See, I will be honest. I'm always honest. You may not like what I say, but I'm going to be honest. Some of the grenade action was fun here. She finds a bunch of grenades. She hits one, goes against the door, blows up. Puts it to a guy, flips over the table, blows up. Now, granted, it's all bullshit with how these grenades explode, and yet she's fine, and her fucking ears would have exploded. Her eardrums would have exploded out of her fucking eye sockets. Her eardrums would have been so ringing, it would have exploded like scanners. Her whole fucking quarter-pound head. But if you don't expecting over-the-top action and don't care about realism, there's some fun to be had, and I will admit, there was some fun with how she don't use these grenades and people getting killed. Like, the grenade scene, as I put it. The grenade sequence, that was fun. I wish Keanu Reeves did that in a John Wick movie, but there you go. After she kills him, the guy says, here's a place you could go. It's this place in Austria. Good day, mate. Let's have another shrimp at the Barbie. Yes, I know. I'm thinking of Dumb and Dumber and the joke there. You're from Austria. And he, you know. Yes, not Australia, Austria. Okay, for those who don't get the joke. But it's a snowy village, and you find out that the village is all filled with assassins. So there's a point that people out of the woodwork of the town are trying to kill her. For some fucking reason, Daniel Bernhardt is one of them. Which makes no fucking sense, because he died in the first film. Just play a different character. It's the same actor. I think people who have seen this franchise will know who this guy is, because he was in the first John Wick. Plain as day. And John Wick killed him, plain as day. So now your watch is going, is he back from the dead? Is this guy a fucking zombie? Why is he here? John Wick killed him in the first movie. So it just brings confusion and like, what? But he's played different. Why? Why do they get him to play a different character? It's not like they ran out of actors to find. Daniel Bernhardt has become the Hollywood jobber in action films. For those who don't know what I mean, jobber is a term used in wrestling, where you're hired to make the other person look better, and you're always going to lose. That's who Daniel Bernhardt has become. Now, was I a diehard fan of him? No, because Bloodsport 2, 3, 4, I don't give a rat's ass about them. The only Bloodsport to me is the first film. Same with Kickboxer. The only Kickboxer to me is the first film. I think the rest of them suck. I really do. I don't give a rat's ass about any of them. Kickboxer 1, Bloodsport 1, that's it. But Daniel Bernhardt, you know, he was in the Matrix sequels and stuff. But he really become like the Hollywood action jobber. When someone needs to rise up, you gotta beat him first. Lawrence Fishburne's Morpheus has to fight, you know, Daniel Bernhardt. Keanu Reeves fights him and kills him in John Wick. Bob Odenkirk fights him, beats his ass, fucks him up in Nobody. Chris Hemsworth fights him a bit, kills him, shoots him in the head in Extraction 2. Now Ana de Armas in a diner fights him, kills him, boom. There you go, your job's done, you're the jobber. Even he'll Jean-Claude Van Damme and kill them all. Because he fought like a jobber. Because he didn't get any hits in. Because I'm guessing that fight was cut in Kill 'Em All 1. I didn't see Kill 'Em All 2. Well, I don't know why. Daniel Byrne's dying this, so it has nothing to do with this. But in Kill 'Em All 1, it was a Jean-Claude Van Damme film. Daniel Byrne was the bad guy, but when he fought Van Damme, he didn't get any punches on Van Damme. Again, I'm thinking there were some editing issues because all of a sudden bruises appear when they weren't there before. And like a jobber, you can't get any big hits in on the other guy. So, there you go. So, you did the job. Congrats, Daniel Bernhardt. In a franchise that you already died in the first movie. That didn't make any damn sense to me. So, she fights a couple people in the diner, outside the diner, until eventually she's knocked out. Gabriel Byrne tossed to her. This girl, she finds out is her sister, which I don't even know why they went into that, because literally 2 minutes later, the sister dies. Like 3 minutes later. Wait, she's my sister, helps Anna out, they leave, they get to some place, there's grenades, the sister dies, they say some words, goodbye. So again, it's like, what was the point of all that? She was barely a fucking character. Barely a character at all. It didn't do much of anything. You could cut that out and not a damn thing would have been changed. Fucking useless. Useless surprise. And then Gabriel Byrne calls Anjelica Huston and he needs help. And Huston says, I'll send John Wick. Now, this doesn't make any fucking sense because this takes place after John Wick 3. So why the fuck would John Wick be working with Anjelica Huston? Just at the end of John Wick 3, he got shot. And there was no time in John Wick 3 for him to do this. So it would have to be after John Wick 3. If it's after John Wick 3, it's bullshit because he got shot and then he was left dead. Everybody thinks he's dead other than Ian McShane and Lawrence Fishburne because he's there healing Lawrence Fishburne. Why the fuck would he be working? Gabriel Byrne would not know Huston, and Huston would not be telling her. Huston would not be telling him, I'm going to send you John Wick. No one would be. None of this would be a thing. John Wick would not be working with her. It doesn't make any fucking sense. It's stupid. It makes zero fucking sense in your own fucking story. And again, it's because when they shot the film, they did not have John Wick in there at the end. He had the one scene at the beginning, and that's it. But they knew their fucking film was going to bomb harder and harder. Can't think of an analogy. You can go ahead. Suck harder dick than Paris Hilton. I don't know. It was going to flop. It still flopped, but could have flopped even harder. They did additional photography to add a duel between this girl and John Wick. And add John Wick sniping some people, and he does some fighting here and there, and that's it. They added that with additional photography. So again, like I said, that's why this was done in January 2023, but it did not come out till 2025 because they shot more shit. Because they could not sell this on Ana de Armas. They could not sell this on Ballerina. They knew they had to sell this on John Wick. So they say from the world of John Wick, they put Keanu Reeves on the poster, they put him in the trailers, and it didn't fucking matter because people knew what it really was. A desperation tactic. And it fucking failed on the F-scale of fuck. And I could have told you that, but no one would have listened, so well. They fight. Keanu Reeves whips her ass, which is cool. I like that. I like that they didn't make her equal or better than John Wick. I appreciate that. Just Don't know why the fuck John Wick is here in the first place. Doesn't make any damn sense. But I already said that. It's stupid. I don't know why John Wick would have said yes to this anyway. But it's not like it would be the first time he didn't listen and not do something. Anyway, beats her ass. And really, it's a nothing fight. She tries to do stuff. He takes her down. Keeps telling her leave. She pushes him through a wall. He throws her back through a different piece of the wall. There's a point he could have cut her net. There's like 2-3 times he could have shot her. Then he says, I'll give you till midnight. Finish what you need to do. If you're still here at midnight, I don't have fulfilled my contract. I'm like, what? Well, I already said, what? So then, Ana de Armas, she kills a few more people. She kills one person with some ice skates. The grenade bits I mentioned earlier was a fun scene. The stuntmen did a great job. Credit to the stunt people, men and women. Huge credit to them, because they're there. It's not the script, the story, that's not their fault, their problem. They're there to sell the moves. They do a great job. So I want to give special credit to the stuntmen and stuntwomen, because they did what they could, and they took the hard hits, and huge credit to them. That's a positive I will give. And the choreography, they did what they could. The one thing I would say was really enjoyable was the flamethrower stuff. Now, I swear to God, I swear on a stack of Bibles, I said in some review or some stream that, oh man, it'd be cool if John Wick had a flamethrower and maybe they had like a flamethrower duel. I swear to God, somehow, some way, some form, I said this. And no, you don't give the John Wick, you give it to this fucking... Had to be in this fucking movie. It would piss me off more. I mean, I like the shit where it's like 2 people and she and the bad guy have a flamethrower, so they have a flamethrower duel, and I'm shield here, go back and forth. I've never seen a movie where they duel with flamethrowers. I always wanted to see something like that. Why's that gotta be in this fucking movie? You know what? If that was in John Wick 4, at least I could say, wow, that's really cool. Should have put in that fucking movie. Or John Wick 3 or something. Or John Wick 2. Why it's gotta be in this fucking movie? Now that it's in this movie, you'll never see that. If they do the John Wick 5. It's cool because they use as much real fire as they can, and there's real people actually on fire. And again, it's not all the time you get to see people shoot off flamethrowers, except Leo DiCaprio that in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which was a cool scene. But like, you don't get to see that much of it, and that was cool to see. I like that stuff. I genuinely like that stuff. That was nicely shot by Len Wiseman. The amount of practical they used at that. Now, when she gets the fire hose and it's a flamethrower versus a fire hose, that's a bit much. You're pushing it, even in your fantasy cartoon logic. Come on, that's like, fuck you, fire hose. Not Fire Marshal Bill. Let me tell you something. God damn it. It's not everywhere now. Because my nose is allergic to that fucking scene. The fire hose versus the... I'm like... I almost wanted to laugh. I really did. That was stupid. Fire hose versus firefighter. I mean... flamethrower. Like, get the fuck out of here. It's fucking stupid. Stupid. Why is it stupid, Matt? Because it looked stupid. It looked cartoony. It looked stupid. The other flamethrower versus flamethrower looked cool. This didn't. John Wick shoots the guy's tank, blows him up. He shoots a couple people sniper style. They come at him. He shoots a couple people. Stuff you've seen in the other 4 John Wick films. Nothing special. Why didn't you have him come in with the flamethrower? That would have been... See, if you want to get people up and like, whoa! Have like her doing her shit. And then have John Wick kind of look, and he's looking, he can't find a gun. He kind of cocks his head. And then, boom, he comes out with a flamethrower. You go, oh shit! John Wick's got a flamethrower. And then you see him flamethrowing this, and he doesn't have to move a whole lot. He doesn't have to do... He'd just be like... And people would have lost their fucking mind. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. They would have been like, holy shit! I would have been like, cool, alright. I'll steal that scene and add it into another movie. Another John Wick film. But no. That would have been a great entrance for John Wick. Or a great, like, whoa moment. Like, your special guest star. No, he just does some little fighting that he's done, like, in 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Nothing special, so whatever. So I didn't feel, it's like, there was nothing unique, special, cool. There's no event to it. Same old, same old. Him with the flamethrower would have been, wow, he's never done that before. That's cool, that's unique. But no. But I could see where it's like, well, now you're taking away from the lead. I already did that. When you put him on the poster and you put him in the trailers and this is what people are talking and thinking about, you already did it because your lead isn't going to be thought of that highly. By some people, sure, but not by all people. She kills a couple people, confronts Gabriel Byrne, shoots him in the head, which was kind of anticlimactic. Just the girl. John Wood lets her go. Takes the little girl back to Norman Reedus. There's a friend of hers. She sees her doing her ballerina act. She lets down. There's a contract put upon her for $5 million. She leaves for a sequel that you're never going to see. So there you go. But this was, for the most part, very in one ear out the other in terms of I was bored by the story. I was bored by the lead character. I think the acting by Ana de Armas was mediocre at best. I don't buy her as an action star. I don't buy her as a formidable foe of anybody. I don't buy her chicken wings, chicken arms, chicken legs. You know, weighing 80 pounds, dripping wet. Or dry as a Tuesday turkey, however the fuck you want to put it. A lot of the fight scenes with the gunplay just makes it seem like you've just seen this, oh yeah, in the 4 John Wick films before this. The few bits you can enjoy, at least for me, is like the flamethrower bit and the grenade bit, because they seem at least a little bit different compared to the others. Norman Reedus, anybody who played his role, you could tell they forced Keanu Reeves into this. And again, his acting was subpar. He looked like he didn't want to be there. But yeah, I find it funny, it wasn't one of the reasons we need to stop doing John Wick is because I'm getting old and I'm getting broken down and tired of doing this stuff. I can't keep up with this stuff. But you do it here. Now, maybe they gave him a big paycheck. Maybe did it as a favor. I don't know. I'm sure he didn't do it for free. But yeah, Gabriel Byrne, I like Gabriel Byrne as a villain. The plot, like I said, very bare bones. There's nothing that unique to the story or that intriguing or that fascinating. The environments. It's funny, the village in this movie looks like the village I was playing in Resident Evil Village that I'm playing right now. But I don't know, it just didn't do anything for me. The location, it's like whatever. There's a couple of pretty. I mean, again, some of the action scenes are cool to watch. Honestly, you could wait and watch them on YouTube. I guarantee you, someone's going to take the flamethrower stuff. They're going to put that on YouTube. Same with the grenade stuff. You can watch that on YouTube, and that would take you less than 10 minutes to watch both of that. Or there'll be a montage of the other action scenes. You just watch that. Just really nothing else. Not characters, not humor. Just another thing. Some of the John Wick films, some of them were pretty funny. Like some of the John Leguizamo would say in the first two John Wick films, or David Patrick Kelly in the first film, or the cop that comes by who John Wick knows, and the cop sees all the dead bodies. You worked here again, John? No. This the thing. There's no humor. There's nothing that funny. There's no character. There's no quirks. There's nothing that brings in more information about the world of John Wick. It's the shit you've already seen before. They feel that the action scenes, if they're choreographed well enough, if you enjoy it just for that, and if that was enough for you, I'm glad. But again, I can't sit here and say, okay, there's a couple action scenes I enjoy, so I enjoy the whole film. No, I need the rest of the film too. And yes, if it's a direct-to-video film that had, $18 to work with, and okay, I could be impressed with what they did, I could be more lenient, but a theatrical $90 million film, I'm less lenient on. I'm sorry. But I'm not sorry. There's no reason for me to ever see this film again. I don't think a lot of people will ever see this film again. If they want to see those action, they'll watch the clips on YouTube, take them again a couple minutes, and okay, and then move along. But why should I give a shit about the ballerina character? I said it before and I say it after. No one's going to give a shit about the ballerina character. They definitely didn't give a shit enough to go see it in the theater. Some may say I will have a cult following. No. Like Dread, I bought into, I saw in the theater. It was a great time, and it did have a cult following. I don't think this will. I think this will be forgotten, and then it'll be like, oh yeah, there was that movie. And now it's gone, and now people don't think about, look forward to Nobody 2. And we'll see how that movie goes whenever it comes out. Which I would think that will do better than this. I would think so. But you never know. Maybe when you see so much of the same type of action, like anything. The Van Damme Seagal stuff, people got tired of. Their egos didn't help, but people got tired of that action. The one-man army stuff, Arnold and Stallone, people got tired of it. And then this new era of action, Independence Day, Twister, Armageddon, these big spectacles, they got people's attention away from the one-man army 80s, early 90s action films. And then the superhero stuff, or the Lord of the Rings, Pirates of the Caribbean, epic fantasy stuff. Now, John Wick garnered this action. Oh wow, there's Violent Night and Nobody and some of this other stuff. Extraction 1 and 2 on Netflix. But if it gets to the point that people get tired of it, then it's going to simmer down, and then want something new. So, there you go. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care, and we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye for now.